I just ate some Oreos, and if you have not had an Oreo in a long time, there is nothing like an Oreo. I got a craving for that taste, and I didn't actually eat the Oreo brand Oreos. It's just the easiest way to explain, like a sandwich cookie with the chocolate and the cream center. Classic Oreo. I ate too many the other day, and I almost ate too many right now. I had, I think, about four. Because you can't, I want to eat each one a different way, so I'm not satisfied until like I eat them all the different ways. Um, so that's what just happened. Today's topic is a little soft, like the creamy center of an Oreo. I just want to introduce some themes that I'm going to be talking about this year. This is my first video of 2020. And so when the year started, I hope everyone had a happy New Year, New Year's Eve. On New Year's Eve, mine was very mellow. I went to sleep before midnight, but I was awoken around midnight or like sometime after, and definitely another time in the middle of the night, by people yelling Happy New Year and fireworks going off. And so I think I was feeling kind of cynical at that time, because when you're woken up, you're not like the most like happy and cheerful as you can be. And so I was like, these people are miserable. Why are they screaming Happy New Year? And then I started digging a little deeper into that thought about why I'm making the bold claim that people are miserable. And obviously that is a generalization. But it's a generalization I want to use as context for your job as a writer. And so I want to make the assumption that no one is happy. And I think that's okay. I kind of want to destigmatize this idea that you have to be happy, or that being destigmatizing the idea that like not being happy is bad. Like, they're not happy. That's really okay. I don't know if I'm happy. I like constantly evolving and growing. And I don't know if you can be happy and want to be expanding like that. I feel satisfied in my life. I feel good. I feel content, but I'm kind of interested in this idea of happy, or what happiness is, and do we need it at all? Is it useful? And this is not a new idea, that the pursuit of happiness, there was that movie with Will Smith, like, is happy just like on the horizon out there, but we pursue it, we never quite get it. So back to my generalization about everyone is miserable and they're screaming Happy New Year on New Year's Eve as it turns into January 1st. I was like, what is that? What are people doing? Why is that something that we do as a culture? And I think the new year just brings so much hope that people are looking for, or that thing on the horizon, that happiness on the horizon, that the world is giving me permission now to have a clean slate and start over, and that happiness, it's coming, we're gonna have a good year, because we all know those people who, either at the beginning of the year or the end of last year say, this year was horrible, I'm so looking forward to the new year. And then on the flip side of that, you get people that say, no, this year was fine, like I didn't have such a bad time. You get both, because everyone is different, everyone is experiencing differently, and everyone's perspective is different. The same exact thing could happen to two people, and one person thinks it's great and they move on from it, and in a way that they're content with, and the other person thinks it's horrible and they move on feeling very discontent and dissatisfied. So it really is your perspective, your attitude, what you bring to what happens to you. And so our job is, as writers, is really to identify if we want to build an audience. And all this is related to the theme of audience building that I'm going to be talking about this year as writers. And if we are talking to a specific group of people that are dealing with issues, and your job as a writer are, what are the issues of my target audience? How can I be a guide on their journey in this sort of pursuit of happiness? Which I don't even know if is appropriate, because like I said, is happy a thing that we ever achieve or that needs to be achieved? But people look for new writers to read because they are in that pursuit. And your job as an author, as a writer, is to offer something that that helps that person. Another theme that I'm teasing is, why people like artists and why people identify with artists. Artists aren't positive all the time. They say the real stuff that's going on that people don't normally express in their real lives. Through songs. I talk about music a lot. So that's just one example of people identifying with musical artists who actually say very private, intimate feelings that people are feeling but don't have necessarily an outlet to say it themselves. And so there's just so much relatability or identification in music when people hear lyrics and songs that they can really identify with, or it's something that they're going through. And it's that artist bringing that to the table to help that person, kind of identify their own feelings and, maybe guide them along on their pursuit of that happiness out there in the horizon. So, because I have a lot of enthusiasm and people mistake it for positivity a lot. And I don't think positivity is always the answer, especially in art, because people want what's real. And what is real is not always positive. It's not always the truth. And if something negative is the truth, I'd rather go in that direction and explore it. And it actually helps you get out of it faster, I've found, into, back to being more balanced or more even keeled. But you need to explore that darkness. You need to explore that negativity. And you have a great opportunity in your art and your writing to do that. So the only, concrete thing for today as a takeaway is to start thinking about those pain points of the audience that you're serving, because they're looking for something. Just like they're looking for a song that they can identify with, people are looking for new art, new writing that is going to help them express something in themselves, or they want to identify it. That's why people are always looking for new music or, new writing that they want to read. Because there's always that opportunity. So you have that opportunity to be that for someone. And I think just again, this is a very soft topic, just a brainstorming session of who am I talking to in my writing? Where are they on their journey? What are they facing, positive or negative? How do I use that in my art so that they become part of my audience? So they say that writer is really helping me go through these feelings or emotions with some sort of structure. And that's kind of fluffy, but that could also be that you're like actually helping them achieve a task. It depends on what you're talking about. So I'm being very general, but it could also be where they identify with your writing and they pick you out as the resource that is actually helping them move forward with what they want to do. And you're standing out as something that like, oh, wow, have you seen this? Like, that's your goal as a writer. It is how I said that there's nothing like an Oreo. An Oreo is the only thing that satisfies your craving when you're craving the taste of a chocolate sandwich cookie with a cream filling. You go to that Oreo. So you could be that writer, that person goes, I need to read that person's blog right now. Or look at their videos, or because they're satisfying what I need the way an Oreo, or there's nothing like an Oreo when you're craving that. And that's what you look for to satisfy that craving. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, Welcome, and please join me in 2020 if you want to hear more about building an audience, how to, really the intersection of what you do as an audience or what you do as an artist and what your audience wants, and how you can use your art to serve an audience and build an audience and ultimately build a creative career. If you hit the subscribe button, also tap the notification bell, because then you'll get a little note on Wednesdays when I publish new videos. So I will see you next week. Bye.